Hello, welcome to another episode of Lines and Layers, and thank you for being interested in drawing and checking out this video and seeing what I'm up to. Today we're going to look at a sketchbook that I made or used from 2019 to 2021 in Honolulu, Hawaii. I had a studio there in the Chinatown Arts District. So during the time when I started this sketchbook, I was preparing for a solo show at a small gallery in Honolulu, and I was using it primarily for sketching out ideas, compositions, material, images to go into larger paintings. I didn't keep this sketchbook with me outside the studio, so it stayed primarily in the studio. This book was like a little companion to me because I kept it right by my side while I was painting, so I could very quickly reach over to it, quickly draw something, quickly put paint down, and see how things worked before I made that decision in the painting. So a lot of this imagery did end up in paintings, and I was focusing a lot around this like hand with a cigarette, tunnels I was really into, feet and hands, and kind of bringing in the landscape, particularly like a tropical and being influenced by Hawaii, and bringing that into the paintings, into this tropical surrealist kind of narrative that had kind of a personal focus, but also very open-ended at the same time. So what I love about sketchbooks is the free association, the rawness, the not worrying about any kind of final presentation, really just like a mind dump, really a place to put as much different ideas into it that I can to kind of help maybe relieve the overthinking that I can do when I am actually kind of working on a painting or a larger work. And I can really, because the immediacy of drawing is so, I guess, satisfying, to see the instant gratification of your idea come, immediately, just helps tremendously in preparing, or not even just preparing, but just like working it out and sort of exercising the idea. That's just my method. I like to kind of put things through a process and work it until I have kind of brought it down to an essential form or state, and getting rid of a lot of extraneous maybe flourishes to it, and to see what is to find the main idea of what I want to use in a painting. So I hung the solo show, had the paintings up, and I was asked I had put this jacket in the show that I had done painting on and hung it in the show. And so I was invited to do something with painting and fashion as like an event at the Hawaii State Art Museum. And not something that I had done before. It was brand new journey. And so I worked with a friend of mine, and we came up with this idea of having sort of a fashion show, but also like a performance and an installation. So I went ahead and just grabbed all of these secondhand clothes I could find around town and started painting on them. And so this book also was included during that time period. So there's a lot of little, again, like color kind of things, and but after that is when COVID hit, and so we all were in lockdown. Something in me decided to go back to this kind of essentialist way of working, and went right into working primarily in black and white. A lot of my previous work had been like extra in color, extra in imagery, loud, and a little bit confrontational. So I moved into this more introspective way of working that got rid of color, just worked in black and white because I wanted to feel and see a little bit more of how it is that I do things without the extraness of color. Because color can kind of tell its own story. It's very commanding to the eye and for the viewer, and also for myself, I can get really wrapped up in it. So using the black and white really can get you to see what it is that you're looking for. If you're liking the video, please give me a like. Also, hit the subscribe button so you can stay updated on this drawing journey. So during this time of lockdown and COVID and doing this black and white drawing primarily, I wasn't going to the studio very much, wasn't really doing large scale painting at all, and just doing these. And I really learned a lot. I learned about how much I love drawing, and how much I hadn't really been focusing or taking it too seriously. I always have a sketchbook, but I think during this time I really found how much I really love drawing and how quickly I can get ideas out and come up with new ideas. And so I started taking it more seriously and working in it. I chose this particular book to showcase out of the many that I have because it felt like it had been used. Like it really has gone through life, and I really love that. It's very messy, it's all over the place, and it's just bursting with new ideas. It's a very like fruitful book for me that even looking at it now, I haven't looked at it in quite a while. So looking at it now, I see there's even ideas that I can still pull from it today, and I'm actually kind of excited to see if there's anything that I can still use that's still relevant for me to use today. It's very raw. Gives me a sense of validation of it's okay to be messy and how it is that you work through ideas, and it's gives me a sense of freedom in process and trusting it and knowing that you never know what's going to be around the corner unless you're putting in the work to try new things. So in the later part of this book, it looks like I learned during the black and white lockdown period, I started getting more into figurative work. Faces started coming out. It was something that I had always kind of avoided in my work because I didn't know exactly who I wanted to, I guess, represent in the art. So I went back to what I was really most comfortable with when in my younger years of, drawing from animation and cartoon imagery. And I rediscovered the expressive quality and how you can express yourself through that kind of imagery. And it felt so comfortable to me. So I leaned into it more, and this book definitely represents that. Yeah, I think by the end of the book, it becomes a little bit more deconstructionist, and I think the whole lockdown, COVID, very stressful time, for a lot of different reasons, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about. But I can see now that the imagery, words, and how I was drawing really set me up for a lot of the work that I'm doing today, and it feels exciting. Thank you so much for watching today and joining me on going through this book. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. I look forward to doing more of these and exploring different types of drawing that I've done over the years. Also, if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more in the future and stay up to date on what I'm up to, hit that subscribe button.